All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 11th Economic Development Meeting. We have in attendance here our Vice President of Council, Jessica Pointer, Molly Connors, who's also a council member, our Borough Manager, Deborah Dorr, and I see online our Code Enforcement Officer, Mike Joswiak. So good evening to all. So Lansdowne isn't just for some groups, that if a business has the money to open up in Lansdowne, they shouldn't be steered out of Lansdowne. They should be steered towards the borough government to be able to come in and have full equality of coming up to our code enforcement department, our code department, to work with the licenses and do what they need to do. That's what I'm saying. If they come to the LEDC, they come to the LEPA, they should be pointing them towards the code department. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like that's the concern that I have with here is I don't know who the folks are on these committees.
If I could just respond to the liaison services. And I think the members of the HARB would agree that having the LEDC as an additional partner with the borough has been extremely helpful to the HARB and has gotten applications through. They're cleaner, they're faster. One of the nice things that the LEDC offers as a free service to new businesses is if they want to do signage, they will do a rendering of the building. They will use Photoshop. They will photograph the building and put a rendering of what the new sign will look like. If they're going to make any other changes, the LEDC can do all the renderings, which makes it a much easier process for the HARB to approve the application. And also they make sure that after they meet with the borough and get the HARB application, historic guidelines can be very difficult and very confusing. And it's nice for a new business to be able to meet with the LEDC and go through what the historic guidelines really say, what's allowed, what's not allowed. The LEDC has some very nice documents they put together that take the borough code, which can be very difficult to read, especially if you're not in that business. And they have it into graphic flyers and things that make it just much easier. So I think that the liaison service is a great partnership with the LEDC. It's not replacing borough services, nor is it duplicative of the borough services. I think it's a nice compliment.
I disagree. I think that having been the liaison to the HARB, and in the time that I worked with the HARB, there were times that we're getting into color of signs and into rules that are not historical guideline rules. And again, that's part of what our coding officer is there for, is to go through what those rules are. And there's also that appeal process that if somebody doesn't agree with a HARB decision, that the HARB doesn't make final decisions. They make certificate of appropriate decisions that council votes on those. So
Yeah, I have to copy both contracts.
Again,
Councilman Connors, do you have any questions?
I have thoughts, but I don't have any questions at this point. I think it's clear what Councilperson Hover wants. I agree with one or two points. I don't agree with others. But no questions at this time.
I have
any
no
further
questions.
Okay, well,
Let me move on.
no, I'm not done. I'm sorry. I'm still
You want
wanna
these now,
go through this.
Jessica?
When you get an opportunity, not right now, so you can.
So I think that and I'll take to council, I am gonna forward this to all council. We can further discussion in council for the funding request. I do think that it's a bit, we're going again from I believe it was 90 to 100,000 last year to 125,000 this year. Given the other discussion of fees that we have with the borough and also the disbursement of some of the fees to hit the general fund. I think that we need to look at what we're spending money on and have a true accounting of what we're spending the money on. I think it's just makes fiduciary sense. So we have a disagreement about that, which is fine. I'll take it to the whole council.
Yeah, I have no problem with taking it to all of council. I just want to make sure it's clear that where this memorandum came from and that it's not a recommendation of the committee. That's all.
That's fine. I will say, I'm just following the same practice that's been happening in public safety where there's an assumed all the committee agrees with something as it comes in, so. As the chair, I will be presenting it in my report. Okay, moving forward then, LBPA update. I think we all know that we have coming up to December 15th, the fantastic parade that is coming down Lansdowne Avenue with the different lights. We have Santa is going to be there. I want to thank the LBPA for working with me and also with my community partners. We're going to have a Hanukkah table for the first time and menorah lighting for the first time. I want to again thank Beth Harmer and Tiara Austin for taking the charge. And so we have the Christmas tree lighting, Santa, Hanukkah table, menorah lighting, all happening on the 15th. Moving forward, this is just a reminder and a circling back to the DCD guidelines and the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission flyers for anti-discrimination business. I'm going to repeat my request from this committee and take to council that we start publishing them online, that we go through and have a cycle of them. One of the interesting points when I was went a couple of weeks ago to West Norton when they had a rally against anti-Semitism there, one of the organizing groups was the Human Relations Commission from West Norton. And at the event, they had a table out and they had various flyers out. And it's one of those points to have that visibility in the public. That way, if people do have concerns or if something happens, they know how to contact the PHRC or they know how to contact the local Human Relations Commission. So I'll defer that over to public safety because I believe we're talking about the Human Relations Commission tonight with a couple of members. So as that gets filled up, I would make that request that we do that kind of work. Mentioned already, LBPA Winter Parade, Christmas tree lighting and menorah lighting that is coming up on December 15th. I'd also like to make that a point of personal privilege and invite all the folks who are here and also on the committee and on council to December 19th at 7 o'clock. There is a Hanukkah concert with Andy Joseph, who is the musical mommy and plays a lot of music, as well as a group called Sammy, which is a Sephardic and Mizrahi initiative, playing different Hanukkah medleys of the different groups. And that's in partnership with many Lansdowne institutions, including the Lansdowne Neighbors Club, the Lansdowne Friends School, our state reps, Gina Hackett-Curry, Heather Boyd, Senator Tim Kearney, and our Delaware County Council Chair, Dr. Monica Taylor, will be giving a keynote message at the beginning. So invitation is open for all.
Sorry, what, where and what time?
It's December 19th, 7 o'clock at the 20th Century Club. And there is security will be provided, kosher food will be provided, and lots of little knickknacks, tchotchkes for the kids as well. So should be a good time. And hearing none, we'll move into public comment. If you'd like to speak to council, please keep your comments to 3 minutes or fewer and keep it relevant to the agenda at hand. Thank you. In the back, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer Hoff, Windermere Avenue. Why do I have to do an RTK for information given out in public? Can't I just get a copy of it? Like it's public information. There's no reason to do a right to know. Like the LEDC update document, and the PHRC flyers, none of this was made available on the website prior to the meeting. So we just come in here and have to listen. There's nothing to look at. And now you're telling me to do an RTK on this information. It's unnecessary. Just provide it. It was discussed in a public meeting.
Are you finished?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
response?
PHRC flyers are on the PHRC website. You can look them up if you want. I mean, it's not, and we did not look at any separate flyers here at the council. The LADC, the memorandum was something that I sent to the two council members over the contract we have. The contract, I believe, has been put online before, correct?
At the last, I think for the last council meeting, the two contracts, I believe, are on.
Okay.
Posted.
Great, thank you.
I'll do it right tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. From
It's
your
a
experience in
fundraiser.
this. I mean, how much
So
does
it-
it cost, like to rent the tent and like the,
I mean, the tent rental in the past has been around $3,500.
okay, I'm asking because there was a time when she did not have the festival and the borough did pay for that amount.
Right,
The
right.
tent was rented, there was a hurricane, and so the borough stepped in and
And reimbursed
that request
because-
came
yeah,
here
because it was a
through me
huge-
to
Yeah,
council
it's a
and we
huge
said
money
yes.
loss when
So-
they can't have the festival. It is a huge money loss.
So we're talking, so the fact that it didn't happen in fall, that is contributing to the financial loss of last year. That's hitting the budget of LADC in 2020.
I would say that's a safe assumption, yes.
So that's then an additional revenue we'll have on next year as to this year.
I think the LEDC would have to answer that. I
No,
honestly don't think it's terribly fair to put them.
You're right,
on the
I'm
spot.
asking just because we talked in the past over when the
I think
hurricane
it's a
came
safe
in.
assumption that if a
I
fundraiser
apologize for
doesn't
bringing this
happen,
up.
then they don't raise the money. And when the fundraiser does happen, if it does happen next year, then they will make the money. So I
Okay,
think
thank
that's a
you.
safe assumption.
Hello, Bill Horton, Lansdowne resident. I'm just kind of wondering how the committee all works with the chair. Seems that other committees would take recommendations from the members of the chair before they put something forward. Seems kind of like a dictatorship, just pushing something forward. I don't know if the other committee members agree with that or if they want to voice their vote of the actions of limiting the budget for the LDC. It just seems like a tactic from Mr. Hover to gain some kind of control. And also, frankly, to probably hurt the LEDC through the budget process. I'm not sure why he has such a bug up his ass for that.
I'm sorry, decorum, Mr. Horton.
It's language.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why he has a bug in his ear to constantly attack the LEDC. You know, I think it's for control. It's for events, governance, to be the person making decisions for events because he seems to have lost that in the budget process at some point.
If you could please keep it to desist from the ad hominem attacks and keep it onto the policy, please.
Okay, so it's not an ad hominem attack. It's what you do and how you operate as a government official. It's nothing to do with you personally. And so I don't know where you get that from. You need to stop referring to these ad hominem attacks. Anyway, but I think maybe the committee members should also voice their opinion or vote if they want to, you know, move that budget item forward or not, instead of just being assumed because it's on the agenda that it's assumed to be something that should be brought forward to council. I think that's kind of, I don't know, a strong dictatorship mentality. And we are in a democracy.
You have 1 minute.
All right. And I think the LEDC does a great job. I don't understand why this is back here when the contract was supposed to be voted on in council. And it seems to be something that's continuing to be picked on by the chairman here.
Thank you. And to answer your questions, Mr. Horton, that we did have a difference of opinion that was evinced by the different members on the committee. We will be taking all of those perspectives to council. Part of the job of council is to review contracts and review the financial contracts between different organizations and institutions in Lansdowne. Nowhere in this discussion was there any kind of dismissal of the good work that the LADC does. The question is about how much funding that we're going to give to the LADC. We have in the contract request, or the funding request, an additional amount of money, 100% increase over what was allocated in the arts funding from last year. I think that if any entity comes to the Borough Council and asks for our 100% increase, that we should do our due diligence and ask why. That is part of what the residents of Lansdowne voted, at least for me to do, and I take very seriously that I'm in control of other people's money, and I want to make sure I'm doing right by those individuals in the community. We may disagree on that, and that's the way it is. And that's what it is. And as chair of the committee, that I do get to set the agenda for the committee. That's the way Robert's rules works. All right, up against the wall.
Sorry, I realized I was in my work ID. My name is Anya. I'm a Lansdowne resident. I'm concerned about some of the things that have been stated in this meeting about the LADC. I think it almost verges on slander, stating that the LADC is like running art shows that are going to cause complaints to the public, neglecting duties in the central business district, turning away interested businesses from Lansdowne, affecting small businesses in Lansdowne. And I don't think any of those statements are factually accurate. And really does concern me hearing council members have such a seemingly bad opinion of an organization in our area that does a lot of really, really good work. And so as a taxpayer, I'm highly concerned about the continual, I'm going to say slanders because it does sound like slanderous accusations that are being leveled in these meetings. Despite LADC folks having been previously at these meetings, and you know, I don't know, I just don't understand why it's necessary to have that kind of dialogue. It is concerning. I also would like to ask questions in respect to the PHRC flyers. The last economic development meeting, I can't remember who, but someone on the board did ask Councilperson Hoover if the flyers were just about anti-Semitism. There have been no mention of like Islamophobia, like violence against women, misogyny, which is rife in this community. Very directly rife within our leadership of borough and our community. There's lots of other things and lots of other areas of discrimination that are relevant. I'm hoping that this is like going to talk about discrimination as a whole and not just discrimination of a minority group by which one council person belongs to. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to be clear, the PHRC flyers that were brought up in the past, that we did have flyers about Islamophobia. We had flyers that were introduced about hair-texture. If you look at PHRC, there are multiple different ways that discrimination can occur. Respectfully, we have different perspective, and I understand that you have your perspective and have feelings about things. In terms of the contract, there is statements of the LADC having a liaison role between businesses that are looking to open in Lansdowne and possible places that they could open in Lansdowne. And I want to be clear that any business that wants to open in Lansdowne has the right and opportunity to do so, and could simply come to the Borough Hall and get the information for the business and try to open the business. That's simply the point I'm trying to make with it, that in the case by having a liaison role, it starts to move into a position in which we're adding extra steps to how businesses can operate in Lansdowne. Again, that fully goes into the purview of economic development and it's open for question and to have a completely transparent discussion about the organizations and what it is that the borough is outsourcing to other organizations to do. We can have a healthy disagreement about that, and council ultimately as a whole will vote to it. And I have that position as an elected official to hold to my guns about the idea that any individual who wishes to participate in Lansdowne can do so and doesn't necessarily need to go through private organizations to do so. And that's simply trying to question what some of the requests that we're having, if it's appropriate to have that for a nonprofit organization or not. There were individuals here who believe so. I may believe so as well. I just think it's appropriate to ask the questions as we're moving forward with the contract.
Sure.
Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much, Councilman Hover. So just, I mean, again, as being the co-director in Lansdowne here, it's you know, it's actually a two-way street, because I have a lot of people that do come to the code department first. And it's a question of you know, we give them their application for a building permit, zoning permit, HARB application, all that stuff here. But at the same time, there's a lot of additional information that we don't ask. And we had a very good working relationship where when a new business comes to the code department, the first thing we do is to tell them to contact LADC, because there's a lot of other stuff here that I don't know if people are aware of what the LADC actually does for new businesses. I mean, one of the things that we do is that, and we hear a lot of people that they would come into town that want to start a business, and they, you know, it's a question, do you have a business plan? And they say no, but yet they want to open up a business. Now, I don't know how new businesses open up a business without a business plan, but my understanding is that, you know, that's part of what the LADC would do, is to take their hand, walk them through it. I even believe that through the LADC, they also had you know, workshops on establishing a business plan. So they're doing much more than just the code issues with regards to signage and you know, how to go struggle and how to interpret the code, that we also explain to them. You know, and a lot of people that do come in before the code department, there's a lot of stuff here that they don't understand, and that the LADC takes more time out, and it has a different way of explaining things that are pertaining to businesses than what we do. Not that we don't do that, but it's just a question, they take more time out. It's a question, they sort of streamline the operation here. And I'm just, that's all I really have to say on that issue. But it's a two-way street where, you know, the LADC directs the people that come into Borough Hall. We direct people that come into Borough Hall to the LADC. So that's all I want to say on that issue.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Joswiak.
Thank you. Thank you.
Helps my thinking on the matter.
One more person.
RL.
Oops. Hi, I'm unmuted, sorry. Okay, thank you. My name is Becky Lefevre. I'm a Lansdowne resident. I am like very excited about having a Hanukkah celebration here. I'm
Your last name?
Lefevre.
I'm sorry, can you spell
Can I spell it?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Lefevre.
Thank you. Lansdowne resident, you said?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So I am very excited to hear that we are having, and to know that we're having a Hanukkah celebration. As a Jewish person, it's really wonderful. But I had some just questions about whether or not it will be like fully pluralistic, or if I know that the Jewish Federation of Philadelphia is involved and like as a sponsor. And so I just wanted to ask if like it will be a place that like, will our celebration have any mention or like Israeli flag or anything to do with Israel, or will it be like truly a like Hanukkah pluralistic Jewish welcome, like no matter where you fall on Zionism vibe?
Are you done?
It's a question. Yeah, it's a question that I have as like as a Jewish person with the discourse happening within the Jewish community. I'm just wondering if there is like a moratorium on like anything related to Israel because we are celebrating Hanukkah as a Jewish holiday, or if because of the sponsorship there will be like an Israeli flag or anything like that. The Jewish Federation of Philadelphia is, you know, very vocal about supporting, which is fine. I'm just curious if
No,
that
I
will be a
heard
part
the
of
question.
our.
No, no, you're done with the question, so I can answer.
Yeah, great. Yes, please answer.
Great, thank you. It is a private event, that's happening. It is open to the public. It's private. So in terms of pluralism, yes, it is pluralistic. There's members of the Ashkenaz community are represented, Sephardic community represented, Mizrahi community represented. So it is pluralistic, hitting a number of different, traditions. In terms of it's family friendly, it has food in it. I don't know that, it's a Hanukkah event. I don't know how any questions of Israel or Zionism, come into that, so. That's it. So you can come and enjoy, or if you decide to stay away, you can stay away from it, so.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Sounds really invited.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Excuse
that
me.
was rude. Your
No,
comment.
I'm sorry. That was.
no, your comment
It was not rude. I don't know what to say. It's a public event that's
Okay,
run by a
Move on.
private entity.
it's not a borough event, it's a private event, but you were rude. Move on.
Excuse me, Ms. Pointer, I think that you're breaking the decorum of this meeting, and I would expect an apology from you.
Don't hold your breath.
I'm sorry, Ms. Pointer, you are out of order.
And you are out of.
I'm not out of order. I'm trying to run a meeting. I answer a
Okay,
question
move
to
on.
private event. All right, we have an item, Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, bike lanes on Baltimore Avenue. This court order.
So apparently in the past, Lansdowne Borough had agreed to partner with some other nearby municipalities, including Upper Darby, to submit an application to DVRPC through the county. The county submitted an application to DVRPC to do additional bike lanes. And while the funding has been approved, at this time, Upper Darby has dropped out of the grant application. So the county has reached out to us to say, they reached out to the remaining municipalities to say, are you guys still interested in being a part of this adding more bike lanes project? I did give out to the members of the committee this packet with a map on top that shows where the additional bike lanes would go. Basically, they would, starting in East Lansdowne, it's Pembroke Avenue, but it becomes Stewart Avenue when it comes into Lansdowne. So our lane would go across Stewart Avenue, down Owen Avenue, and connect back up with Baltimore Avenue, and then head down towards Gladstone Manor, etc. So it's not a huge section. I had asked our chief and the public works director to check the areas out to see if it would impact any parking. It does not appear that there's any parking on these streets that would be impacted if we added more bike lanes. But I don't have any details on what kind of bike lanes, what they're gonna look like. There's also, according to the county, a percent match that Lansdowne would have to provide. I don't know what that number is either. The county doesn't know either. So they sent us an email and just said, we just want to know if Lansdowne is still even interested in pursuing this. So I'm bringing it to this committee to say, are we even interested in finding out more information and continuing with this grant?
Scudder?
I'm just curious why this came to economic development, not infrastructure.
It's planning.
For
It's
economic planning, okay. And my other question is, well, not question, I think it's hard to say if we're still interested without all that information. So my response would be, yes, we're still interested, but we need more information.
And that's, I think,
And
what we're
that's-
hoping to get, if
yeah.
we can at least get that.
I concur. Yes, for more information.
If you don't mind, is it part of the connectivity?
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yes,
okay, it's still-
it
okay, it's
continues
still part
the
of that.
broader countywide plan
Yes.
to.
Do we know how much we invested on the first go round for connectivity?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go back through all the matching grants, so that much of it was funded though through grant money.
Okay.
So. Ms. Pointer?
I have no.
All right.
Unless there's any public comment about that item, we will adjourn. Hearing none, we'll move forward. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for attending. Hope to see you on the 15th and on the 19th. Have a great day.